Episode 64 of the Boroughs live on YouTube. Find it afterwards, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Kevin Bunk, Michael Merlo coming to you weekdays for BTO Media. And today is July 14th, Derby Day, one of Mike's favorite days of the year. I don't watch it really at all, but I'll watch a little bit tonight. But Mike, first half's in the books. Derby Day today, All-Star game tomorrow. Got to be feeling good.
First half done. It's an interesting end to the halves, to the half, for both of our teams, which we'll get into. But yeah, pumped for Derby Day, one of my favorite days of the year. It's a great gambling event, probably the best event in terms of gambling for baseball. So I'll give some picks out in a little bit. Very excited for that.
But first, I got to ask you, your boy Mania, you made a little clip on it.
Yeah.
Overall, the Mets weekend, I mean, again, you just said it, kind of a weird finish, not really the one you wanted, but it's over. You're happy with the records, I think, in both cases with the Mets and Yankees, but your thoughts sitting here today on the Mets first half of the season?
Yeah, I mean, you had your worst stretch in years, for the franchise, and you're a half game out of first place heading into the break. So, they dealt with a ton of injury to their pitching staff. We know that. They had a lot of minor league pitchers playing. They had the offense go cold for a little bit, especially early in July. So everything going wrong for a few weeks there. And to be a half game out of first place at the break, I think anybody would have signed up for that, especially while you were going through that tough stretch.
Yeah, and I look at the exact same way. Like, if you told me the Mets were going to have that stretch, and they were also, before that bad stretch, going to have the struggles that they had with Soto and the offense just not really getting going, and then the pitching injuries, for them to be sitting here, not only a half game back, but 13 games over 500. It's not like they're a half game back because Philly was bad and the Mets were also bad, and they're both 6 games over 500. They still had a good first half of the season. 13 games over 500, you're going to take that, 55 wins. So I think that there's no reason to be negative today if you're a Mets fan at all about anything in the first half of the season, because you've gotten young guys going. Beatty and Mauricio have looked good. Vientos is really the biggest bad stain on the first half.
He had a nice weekend, though. He had a nice last weekend there.
Exactly. So, I mean, he's gearing up for Beatty Day next week. He wants to start on July 22nd. He wants that, and Beatty's probably going to be on the bench. But overall, Mets first half, you got to feel pumped. We'll talk more trade deadline stuff at the end of the week when we do another episode. We're going to hit a lot of All-Star stuff today in Derby. But, I think overall, how could you be upset about the Mets?
Is it weird that I have this confidence that they're going to win the division? Like, I'm almost not even worried about it. Like, I just believe that this team is going to win the National League East.
I feel the same way.
And I never have that sort of confidence in this team. Like, it's very rare that I do.
No,
but I truly believe they are going to win the division. And that doesn't mean I think they're going to get to the World Series. I mean, we're going to go through the bracket in a little bit. And I don't think I have them making it to the World Series, but I think they are going to win this division somehow, some way.
I absolutely do. I think they're going to have a nice deadline, too. Again, we'll talk deadline stuff, specifics at the end of the week, and a little predictions, start talking about who we think is going to get moved, and really ramp that up after this episode. But I think the Mets are just in a position where, I've been low on Philadelphia all offseason, and then for most of the year this year, I like them right now. I know I was wrong on them, but I think the Mets are in a spot to win this division. I'd be surprised if it wasn't them. And I feel the same way about the Yankees. Like, the Red Sox have been so great, but they're completely peaking. And I'm sitting there saying, they're 10 games under 500, the Yankees, and I'm not too thrilled with what I've seen the last 6 weeks. But the fact that they're only 2 games back of Toronto and young Boston is their other competitor, I just think both of these teams that we cover here and root for are going to find a way to be division winners. And again, that doesn't mean that we think they're getting to the World Series or anything. We simply just think they're probably going to win the most games in the division.
I will say the Red Sox making this little resurgence makes me look a little bit better with my World Series pick there. I mean, that was not looking good for a little while. And I'm not saying they're going to, although I did see Ken Rosenthal get me a little excited today. He was, really talking up the Red Sox. And if they make the right moves at the deadline, which, of course, we'll talk about later in the week, maybe they could get to a World Series even this season. So I'm getting a little excited, but I won't go that far.
Let's talk a little Sox for a second, though, because
they're legit.
This team's really good, and the future just projects so well. We spoke earlier in the year when they traded Devers. We said you needed 2 of Campbell, Meyer, and Anthony to be studs. Well, now Raphael is a complete stud. Like, this is a really, really good player, Raphael, and he's been for about 8 weeks now, and he doesn't get enough love. He's not an all-star, but he's one of those fringe guys that you maybe could have justified. He's been awesome. And then you have the other guys who, once again, if you can get 2 of those guys out of the 3 to be really good, and Campbell is kind of just that solid infielder for you, or utility starter for you, then like this team is in great shape. But I'm curious to see how John Henry now approaches this, because ownership, Henry and Kennedy, whoever you want to throw in as their owner and their principal decision maker, they have a lot of decisions to make financially as to what they're ready to allocate and commit to this team.
I mean, it's just crazy. Like looking at just looking at the players that are producing. Trevor Story was one of the worst players in baseball to start the year, and he's been incredibly productive. He doesn't get on base, but he's been productive. Duran has obviously turned it on. Willie Abreu, after a really hot start, got hurt, cooled off. Now he's been back. You look at the rotation and you say, okay, they needed a pitcher or two. But Kevin, like, I don't know if you've seen what Lucas Giolito's done in his past 7 starts, but he's been pitching like an ace. And you look at Brian Bello, he's been pretty good too.
It's Walker Buehler's just the guy that has not come around in any shape at all. And Garrett Crochet is phenomenal. Garrett Crochet is everything that was advertised. A lot of people are debating, should Fried or Skubal have been the all-star starter? But there's a better case for Garrett Crochet than Max Fried, and that's no knock on Fried. But Crochet has just been that great this season. 10-4, 2.2 ERA, 129 in the 3rd innings pitched. He's got 160 strikeouts, 1.04 WHIP. That's a certified complete stud ace who's in firm Cy Young contention with Tarek Skubal.
You see that Fried called Skubal to ask him if he wanted to start the All-Star game? That's a little corny, No,
it's Fried.
Hey, Fried, you don't deserve to start the All-Star game whatsoever, not even close.
Because you know what it was
manager is the All-Star game manager, so he might give me a chance, but let me call you.
This is how you justify that. If you're Boone and Fried, is you're looking at it saying, this guy spent a career in Atlanta, won a World Series in Atlanta. None of the young up-and-coming stud aces, only 2 guys are better than him, are going to be upset that Fried starts it because they're just going to pitch a 2nd and 3rd inning. So that was Boone saying, I'm going to give you the ball if you want it in this game out of courtesy. Obviously plays in classy guy, classy pair of guys here. And Skubal couldn't have been better about it. Great guys.
Well, Skubal should be starting the game as he is, and that's the way it goes.
And Fried was probably never going to start it anyways because he was always going to pitch Saturday. So I think it was just
he's not even pitching.
Do
they go?
I think he is going, right? Yeah, he's going because he's going to be there, and Rodon's going to be there too now because he replaced Fried in the actual active player spot on the roster for guys that can play. But I think Fried, I don't know if guys normally would go, but I think Fried's definitely going because he is doing the little Atlanta reunion homecoming thing.
Can we talk about something? Can we talk about this Mizorowski thing for a second? Because while I was running around like a chicken without his head on Saturday, all I wanted to do was make a video about this. I understand what Major League Baseball is trying to do here. Like, I get they're trying to create a star, try and do it early with Mizorowski in Milwaukee and put him in the All-Star game. But you put in 3 different guys that did not even close to the season that Christopher Sanchez is having. How do you put Jacob Mizorowski in this game and not Christopher Sanchez? I get, you know what? You can make some sort of argument for Peterson. I mean, most of the numbers for Sanchez are better, but you know what? Peterson's pitched all year, whatever. He has a complete game shutout. Okay. You can make some sort of case. You can't do it for this kid. You can't do it for Mizorowski.
No, you can't. And I love him. I mean, he's such a great thing or person for baseball coming up. But even Ranger Suarez, I mean, there's just guys that are better who have thrown 5 times the innings that Mizorowski's thrown. And he's going to be an all-star for probably the next decade based on what we've seen in such a small sample and what we saw before he was a major leaguer. But there's no justification.
The accolade means too much. You know what? It's a prestigious game. As much as it means nothing, it's still the best all-star game. It still means a ton to be an all-star in terms of whether you're going to get more money in arbitration, this and that. Do you have a incentive to make the All-Star game? You look at how many All-Star games you make when you look at the Hall of Fame. And obviously, these guys I don't think are going to be in consideration for the Hall of Fame, but you know what I mean? It's important.
Mm-hmm.
These accolades are important. And to just give it away to a kid that is 20-something years old and has pitched 25 innings is a joke. It's a joke.
And think about, you mentioned the bonuses. Like, I know he's not a pitcher, but a guy like Juan Soto, how's he supposed to feed his family when he doesn't get to the All-Star game?
Yeah, that's tough.
How are they expected to survive when they don't get that bonus?
Right.
He's only making $50 million this year. What do you think of that? We haven't been on since that. I mean, not a big deal at all.
I mean, the amount of people, Michael Kay had, a little, beef fit about it. How could you say that? How could you be so tone deaf? He was joking.
I actually
and even
think
if
he's serious,
even if he wasn't, who cares?
That's his thought on it. I mean, I don't care that's
maybe
how he
he
feels
wanted
about
to
it.
buy Ronnie Mauricio a car now, and Brett Beatty's was $100,000, something like that. So now he's got to get Ronnie one, and he doesn't want to have to go into his account to grab that. So he's like, okay, the bonus is $100,000. I'm going to buy Ronnie a car now.
You know what I think too? For a guy like Soto, who wasn't wealthy before he came into Major League Baseball, it would be like any normal guy like us getting into the league. I don't really care how much money you're making. 100,000 is 100,000.
I understand. Like, he didn't get $700 million up front,
Yeah, and even if he did,
wait for that.
We act like just because he's worth this much, 100,000 is not worth $100,000 anymore. Maybe he was going to give it to charity. Maybe he had this great plan to go and give it to children's hospitals. Oh, Soto, now criminal didn't get in the All-Star game.
And now those children's hospitals get nothing because Major League Baseball and their fans and their players are morons. That one of the 5 best offensive players in the league isn't in the All-Star game. Okay, great.
I don't like that Mizorowski gets in too without any fan vote. I actually think the fan vote in baseball works pretty well for the most part. And
did it when they put 7 Royals in 2015, but yeah.
Well, that was best team in the league. They killed the Mets.
Look,
killed the Mets in the World Series.
You saw
all of those All-Stars on the biggest stage.
Going there.
And it looked like watching that series had 7 All-Stars. It really did.
Okay. It did. I got nothing.
It did. They were that good. And somehow their ownership, that's my take that I sent you a few weeks ago, not to just go all over the place right now, but I said if the Royals ownership cared at all and wanted to spend like $150 million a year on the team, that's a dynasty franchise. They would just be winning and winning and winning.
Yeah, but like, what have they been able to sustain that kind of winning? Like
well, those guys were mostly older too. So no, Hosmer didn't last much longer after. The starting pitching, none of those guys were great career players besides Cueto, but still, like,
he wasn't great with them.
Yeah, exactly. But he was their best guy.
I used to love Johnny Cueto.
He was tough not to like. He was awesome.
Loved him.
The wind up, the delivery, everything.
Yeah, everything. Chubby a little bit. It was nice.
Yeah, he was good role model.
Exactly. I could be like Johnny. Now, but Bartolo was a better role model.
Yeah, but
they used to call me Big Sexy.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Did you pitch like him?
I did, just fastballs, and they weren't fast.
What else? Mets. What else? Circling back. Anything else on the Mets that you really want to talk about? I mean, we're gonna dive into their second half expectations and everything later in the week.
I mean, Soto's legit. Lindor, Alonso. No, I got Edwin Diaz. Unbelievable. He might be their best All-Star. He's been unreal.
Diaz is
in baseball.
He's one of the rare contracts that's really working out with a closer. Like, I don't like the 5-year, 4, 5, 6 year deals on relief pitchers, but it's working out big time for them.
Yeah, they get the rest of this year strong. I would say it's worked out. He's just been unbelievable. He's lights out. Every time he comes into a game, he's lights out.
Yep. He's great. He is great. Yankees, I don't have much to talk about. We got Derby tonight, Jazz.
Tough weekend. I mean, you start off Friday, you crush them. I'm like, all right, Yanks going to go into the break, beating a good team at home, and then you lose the next 2.
If they didn't sweep Seattle, I'd be more upset about it because I looked at it as a 6-game stretch after that awful stretch and then the Mets series, and then it's 6 games coming up against Seattle and Chicago. They go
You wanted
4-2. 4-2.
Okay.
4-2 was a win. I hated the way it happened because I would literally the worst, my least favorite 4-2 outcome would have been win the first 4 games and then lose the last 2 pretty non-competitively.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is where we're at. And I think they're going to have a good second half. I'm excited about the Yankees in the second half. I think that they'll be a little bit better in the second half than the first half. But they finally cut bait with DJ LeMahieu.
Can't believe that.
Which I was shocked by.
Disrespectful.
Because even, you look at the numbers, someone's going to pick him up. Offensively, you could find a spot for him in the league. And you could have found a spot for his bat on the Yankees. He wasn't outside of their top 9 hitters when he was playing, but he just can't play defense. If you can't play defense at second base, there's no spot at first base. You can't play third anymore. You're not a good base runner anymore, and you don't hit for any power. Like, they had no reason to keep him, and it was just causing more problems than solutions.
Well, he had said that they never came to him about playing third base. He said he would have tried to. I guess that was their thought, that he was just not going to be able to do it. But I found that interesting. But yeah, somebody will pick him up. His bat wasn't his bat has been worse over the last couple of seasons than it was when they let him go. So it'll be interesting to see who picks him up, because I agree. I think somebody will.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think of teams off the top of my head right now. I mean, tell you what, I watched an Astros game over the week. They had Zach Short playing shortstop. I mean, we might want to. They might be.
How long is Pena out for?
He's out for a couple of weeks, a few weeks.
Sure.
He was having a great year. He got into the All-Star game too from the player vote, rightfully so. He should have been starting the game. He was better than Witt or Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Pena was. He should have been starting that game. But yeah, it's unfortunate. But yeah, they could use him.
They could use him, and I think a couple teams are gonna check in on that, because if, say hypothetically, those numbers, let me pull them up right now, but you look at those numbers from a veteran guy who's won batting titles, you could sell your fan base on a trade deadline trade if the Yankees hadn't DFA'd him, where you're saying, all right, we're trading nothing basically to just take from the Yankees a 266 hitter with a 338 on base.
Right.
And doesn't strike out much, doesn't hit for pop, but it's a great 10th bat. And that's how you could have sold your fan base. I think it's a good midseason ad for any of these teams that might be interested in him. But he's not going to end up going to a team that is fully out of contention either.
No, because why would he do that? Like, what's the point?
Yeah. And why would they do that? What do you do?
Does he go back to Colorado? Go with Ethan Holiday there, and
that's got to just be the worst place in the world to get drafted. I know every team is great, and lucky for Holiday, his dad has positive experiences there.
Yeah,
but that's awful.
Yeah, I mean, you could get drafted to the Yankees. It's a lot worse. But I mean, you're going to fail. They're not going to develop you or anything. But either way,
they developed the greatest right-handed hitter of all time.
They did do that. That they do have that one. Yeah, that one checks out. That checks out.
If you want to be judged, that's where you go. Nobody else.
The 1 in a million. The 1 in a million chance to become Aaron
Judge. For the Yankees, it's 1 in 26.
How about the Mets? Guy that snorts coke off of the line. Let's go. We're back.
Those memes just wrote themselves last night.
Yeah. 1986. We're back. Doc and Darryl, number retired. Now we got this guy. Come on.
Do you know all the rules that go into the MLB draft? Like, it is ridiculously not straightforward.
No, it's the worst thing in the world.
It's awful. I always knew it was awful, but I never cared about the draft or to learn about the draft, because it's just
you negotiate with them before you draft them. Like, for the most part, like, what you're going to sign them for, or like, what they won't sign for and what they will sign for.
Yeah, but there's also a certain amount of money teams can spend on their draft picks.
Yes. Yeah.
And like, that dictates sometimes what pick you're eligible for in the lottery. And in the lottery, you can't get a top 5 pick in consecutive years. So like, Chicago picked 10th yesterday because they had picked top 5 the year before. So in the lottery, they're like not able to pick, and they've picked top 10 a certain amount of years in a row. So the best spot they could have gotten is 10. And that's what
the Mets had the 38th pick because they were over the tax or whatever. So
the Yankees, I think, picked one after him or one before him. It was one or the other.
Yeah. They had their first pick was 38th.
But then there's like ways to trade for picks, but I know you literally can't. But you like Baltimore does this. I'm reading about it last night because I was just enlightened by
You're
Major
like
League Baseball
trading
draft rules.
money. You're trading
Yeah,
money.
you trade certain amounts of salaries to guarantee first round compensatory picks based on how many teams are over the tax. Like you have the opportunity to do it. So they have the two for, I don't know. It's ridiculous.
And like, think about this, because I heard an explanation as to why the Nationals didn't draft Ethan Holiday, and it was, they could sign this guy that they drafted for cheaper and now sign better players in the second and third round and spend more money there.
Yeah.
But that's why the Mets and the Yankees and these big market teams are at such an advantage. I mean, nobody wanted to draft Kumar Rocker for whatever reason that year. And, I think money was involved. Injury was too, but money was involved. And the Mets were sitting there at like whatever pick it was, top 10, it was high, I think low tens. And he had just fell to them because the Mets were willing to pay him. Now it didn't work out because of injury, but having a rich owner could help in the draft as well.
Absolutely. And the first two picks of the draft last night, then I'm done talking about the draft because I don't even know why I am. But the first two picks of the draft last night apparently were like the biggest stunners in Major League Baseball draft history because the two best players unanimously were Ethan Holiday and Cade Anderson, the pitcher from LSU. Yeah. And people were saying, if you want a pitcher, you go Anderson. If you want a hitter, you go Holiday. You can't really go wrong.
Right.
And they were the third and fourth picks because they took this kid. Eli Willits was the Nationals' first pick. And he's 17 years old, the youngest player to ever be drafted.
That's good.
And Tyler Bremner went to the Angels. And I'm seeing people like going nuts. The scouting people who are just nuts about the MLB draft. They're like, oh my God, he's the sixth best pitcher on the board.
Jesus.
I'm like, what are the Angels doing? But I have no idea to even criticize. Yeah. I can't even criticize because I don't know who this guy is.
Oh my God. It wouldn't shock you.
And the success that LSU is having developing pitchers right now, you just thought, I don't know, whatever. All right, I have this before we get into Derby and the meat of the show. We're going to do Derby and midseason awards. I have one question to ask you. Mets question.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this over the weekend from a Yankees perspective, but it's very easy from a Yankees perspective. From the Mets, it's not. You can add one former active Met to the roster right now. Who are you picking? Because I think there's two possible answers.
Former active player.
Yeah, like you can't add David Wright. But it's got to be a guy around baseball. I think there's two answers.
Yeah, so like one of them's obviously DeGrom.
So I think there's three answers. Because I wasn't even thinking of DeGrom.
Oh, all right. Well, Wheeler. Yeah, Wheeler.
And PCA. Counting him as a prospect. So that's confusing too because he never played for them. But I'm counting prospects, guys that got traded away. Like one former Mets organization guy.
Because, like, I saw this question posed non-active, like, just any Met.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, if Beltran's not your answer, you're a moron. And I was like, okay, I kind of get that.
But adding Wheeler?
I know. Wheeler or PCA is tough. I would go Wheeler because I think you could get away offensively with what you have. And if you add that ace like that, to go along with Senga, and Peterson, and Minaya, like that would be insane. You can't beat that in the post.
I think you have to go. You have to go Wheeler there.
Gotta go Wheeler.
But how big's the gap between Wheeler and DeGrom?
Yeah, it's pretty big right now.
It's massive, right?
It's pretty big right now.
Even age aside,
as good as DeGrom has been great this year. But Wheeler is the best pitcher in the National League. He's probably the best pitcher in the league. And no, Schoolball is. Maybe Crochet too. But he's the best pitcher in the National League right now. I think he's better than Skeens this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's tough. And then, since you mentioned Skeens, wouldn't it be a great time for Pittsburgh to call up Boston and just say, hey, man, Skeens has like a .2 ERA in the last 8 weeks. He hasn't won a game. We want all of your prospects, and you can get Paul Skeens, but you can keep like Rafaela and Anthony. Who's saying no?
So what would it be? Campbell?
It would probably be Campbell, Mayer. I don't know whoever their other top prospects are. Throw in like Duran, and then you only get Skeens back.
Probably do it. I'd probably do it.
Did Peterson make the All-Star game?
Yeah, you didn't know Peterson made the All-Star game?
I thought he was Mets fans were pissed he's a snub.
No, Peterson's in the All-Star game. He's the man.
Our guy, Peterson? I honestly haven't paid
in.
any attention to the All-Star stuff.
He's
besides
in.
Miz and everyone. Let's go!
He's in.
Let's go! Breaking news!
It happened Friday, but yeah.
I definitely saw that.
Maybe
just,
Thursday.
Wrote it off.
Maybe
Thursday. Wrote it off.
He's the man. He deserved it. Not really. Not over
Game
Sanchez.
1 of the World Series. He gets the ball.
Yeah, hopefully.
Unless they had Wheeler.
Well, Wheeler would get the ball then, yeah.
But so if Boston, whatever, I'm not doing the Skeens. I'm not doing. Yeah, so if Boston gets a phone call, right? Hey, we're not negotiating this, but we will give you Paul Skeens for Roman Anthony. And we want Anthony, we want Meyer, we want Duran, and then like their 8th and 9th prospects, and you get Skeens. Are you saying yes?
I don't think so.
I don't know if
not at that.
Pittsburgh's
not
not
at
going
that price.
Pittsburgh wouldn't do that without getting Anthony.
Not at that price.
All right, Derby time.
Derby time.
Let's go. Derby time. Couple of your picks here. Participants tonight, if you don't know it, Cal Raleigh, O'Neal Cruz, James Wood, Matt Olson, Brent Rooker, Byron Buxton, Junior Caminero, and Jazz Chisholm Jr. Mike, who do you like here?
Yeah, it's really tough for me. So I'm between two guys. I really thought Acuna was going to win the entire thing before he had to back out. So I'm between two guys. I'm between James Wood and I'm between Junior Caminero. Caminaro's towards the bottom of the list. He's plus 1,000. He's tied for the second worst odds or second best odds. And James Wood has the third lowest odds. He's plus 370. I'm going to stick to my guns the entire time. I thought Junior Caminero would win. I'm going to take Junior Caminero plus 1,000 to win the Derby. He's a home run hitter. He's a young kid. He's 22 years old. I mean, the guy literally only hits home runs. His OPS is under 800. He's got 20-something home runs. He is a big-time power bat. I like him a lot here. We'll take Junior Caminero, and also we're going to take this side bet. We're going to take this side bet. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Ready? Just for fun. We're sitting there, and we're having a good time. We're going to take over 240.5 total home runs in the Derby. We're going to take the over on the longest distance of longest home run by any player, over 479.5 feet. And why not? Let's pick somebody to hit the home run with the highest exit velocity. Let's take James Wood plus 300.
Wow. All right.
Having fun.
I'm shocked by Wood and Caminero as your picks.
Those are my two guys. I'll probably put more money on Caminero, but I'm probably going to put a little bit on Wood. I got to see how the bracket ends up working out, but I'll probably put a little bit on Wood too. So I'm excited. This is one of my favorite gambling events of the year, especially it's the best one in baseball, and I'm pumped.
I like James Wood. I like O'Neal Cruz the most, though.
I'm not getting on board with O'Neal Cruz.
I'm on board with Cruz. I think he's a big showman too. I think he's a big showman. I think he's going to get out there. It's going to be him and Jazz. He's going to rip through this thing.
He's going to hit a foul ball. He's just going to take a walk in the middle of the time. O'Neal Cruz. He's going to get a little lazy there, and I think he's out in the first round.
Jazz is going to be different tonight, man.
Jazz is interesting. Jazz is a big wild card here. Jazz is either going to just be awful and go out in the first round, or he's going to be in the final.
Well, and he's not going to get a hit the rest of the season.
Yeah, I can't believe how good his numbers have been.
He's having
just to go back on that. He's having a really nice season.
Ridiculous here. I'm pulling up the stats right now.
He feels like he's starting to feel like a player that the Yankees cannot lose.
Him and Bellinger both feel that way for me. And I have a lot of people on my last two videos that I made about each of them talking about prospects, talking about Spencer Jones. Like, I don't know if I'm willing to lose Bellinger because I think Jones is going to be good.
No, you can't. I mean, Bellinger's too, like, he's not going to cost you a ton. I mean, he's going to be back next year. It's not going to even and then
I think he's going to opt out.
You think he's going to opt out?
26 million, 27 million for next year. I think he opts out. I think this is his best chance at a 5-year deal.
So what do you give him? You give him 5 years, 125. You think he stays 130?
When you look, I asked you this the other day over text, and I don't know if it's what the answer is, but you can argue that Cody Bellinger is the second best center fielder in all of baseball. So what is his contract value on the open market in a league that doesn't have that many good or available center fielders?
Yeah.
It might be 5 for 150.
And the other thing too, he could play elsewhere. He could play the corners if you need him. He plays a really good first base when you need him there.
You can't worry at all about him aging out of a long-term contract defensively because he can go to first and be great.
It's just the bat you worry about a little bit. And
literally just turned 30 yesterday.
Yeah, 5 years, 150. He might have to be a Yankee. And Jazz, I think Jazz, they both feel like very good. Not great because you had the best complimentary piece you could have possibly had to Judge, but really good complimentary pieces to Aaron Judge in Jazz and Bellinger.
And then I think you get into a discussion of, would you rather have Jazz and Bellinger for $40 million a year, or would you rather have Kyle Tucker? And that's an entire other debate that I actually don't even have an answer or a track to go down.
Yeah, I don't.
And I don't want to do it today. But they have an interesting offseason with these two guys. I'd be surprised at this point if Bellinger didn't opt out, because I do think while the player option's very rich next year, it's probably his last shot at a long-term deal. And Boris is going to look at him and say, let's just go lock up the most money you can get in your career, because it's possible, we've seen in his career, Bellinger has a dud next season and does not get the 5 or 6 year deal that he could get this offseason.
Yeah. I just don't think they're going to be in on Tucker. Like,
I understand. I think they're going to be like,
it's a hypothetical question, but
I think they're the team. Tucker. I think they're the team that meets with them once, and they're probably 3rd or 4th on the list when it's all said and done.
See,
I don't think either side ever even gets too serious about it happening. I
don't think they can. I don't think the Yankees financially are there. I think they're going to worry about getting Jazz done and getting Bellinger done.
I think that's probably the smartest thing to do. You have two players here that you know it's working, and you know it fits, and you know it fills 2 spots. Why create another hole in your infield? Why clog your outfield with a second $400 million player? You already have Stanton, too, for another 3 years. That contract's not bad at all anymore, though. But you have 3 pitchers making combined $600 million.
Yeah, that Rodon contract, great.
All-star.
Pity all-star.
No,
that Judge contract, awful.
I heard we had some false reporting over the weekend, and Rodon actually called Skubal.
Yeah.
Hey, Derek, if you want to start the game.
That's like me. That's like me calling Paul Skeets. Hey, Paul, if you want to date Livy, like, that's okay, dude. Like, you got
my permission.
Yeah, exactly. That's the equivalent of that, okay? Rodon calling Schoolball saying, hey, you can start if you want. That's the equivalent.
Belly won't get $27 million next year, and I absolutely agree that he won't get it in a contract extension, but he might get $150 million, and that is worth the long-term outlook instead of the player option. I don't think he'll ever make as much as the player option is again in his career. But
it was good. It ended up working out. Boris ended up doing a really good job for those guys when it looked so bleak.
Yep.
Snell got paid. Chapman got paid. Bellinger's going to get paid.
Montgomery is the one that didn't.
Montgomery,
he still cashed in $25 million on that first year with Arizona. So, I mean,
2 years.
But wasn't it $25 million for that first year?
Yeah, but it was like,
and whatever it was in the second year,
20 for this second year. And then Alonso, he's going to work out with Alonso. Alonso's going to get paid.
Yeah. And even if Alonso doesn't get a massive deal, and he's going to, it's still going to work out because his AAV is going to be great.
Yeah, well, he's going to get more than he was getting last year.
Is he a lock to be a Met again? Like, we're talking about Bellinger and Jazz for Yankees, but Alonso feels like a guy the Mets cannot let go of.
You can't let go of him. I can't tell you yes or no it's going to be a lock, but it should be. I mean, he should be a Met for life. He's going to break the record here in a couple of weeks. I can't give you an answer. We know how David Stearns operates. We know how this guy operates.
And we know how first base is viewed around the league at this point as a position that teams really aren't going all out to make sure they have a great player at.
But he's having legitimately one of the best years of his career. I mean, defensively, he's been pretty good. His
I'd say
numbers are high.
I'd go as far as saying this is the best version of Pete Alonso we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
And
no,
that
it is.
maybe won't reflect in the stats at the end of the year. And you're definitely saying that was the best year he ever had. But I think that this is the best Pete Alonso I've ever watched.
Trying to pull up his WAR numbers right now.
Yeah, pull them up. And then I have 2 first half stats around the league. And then maybe we do some midseason awards and then we call it and then we'll be back at the end of the week.
Yeah. Hell yeah. He's got a 2.9 WAR right now. The highest he ever had was a 4.7 his rookie year.
4.7.
He's just locked in.
Yeah.
He's going to go over that.
Because his rookie year, we're going to look back at his career and people are going to say his rookie year was his best season because of the stats. Or even 2 years ago. I thought 2 years ago he was better than his rookie year too.
I don't think so. I think this year.
But
we're going to look back.
Statistically, what's he pacing? Because people aren't going to look at WAR necessarily. Like you still have majority of baseball fans are going to look at the production numbers.
Well, he's going to break the RBIs. He'll break the 120 RBIs this year. He's already at 77.
Yeah. But 2 years ago, I think that 22, so now it's 3 years ago, was his best year.
40 homers, 131 RBIs, 141 WRC plus.
It was the second highest WAR of his career. It was a whole point lower in WAR than 2019. Why is that? Was he a terrible defender in 22?
22, he wasn't great.
Why is his WAR a point lower though than
in 22?
Yeah, in 22 than 19. I thought it would at least be like 0.3 or 4 higher, closer to 5.
I mean, he had 53 home runs. He did it 10 more home runs.
Yeah, but he had 11 more. Whatever. I'm a big RBI guy.
Well, he's going to go over that this year.
He is. And his batting average that year was the highest of his career, 271. He might be able to finish higher this year at 280. Yeah,
WRC plus 12 points higher than it's ever been.
So you'd agree, though, Pete's a must keep in your mind for the Mets?
Yeah. Have to.
And I think when we're talking about that discussion before, active Mets around the league, Wheeler specifically was an all-time Wilpon blunder. I think the greatest perk of having Steve Cohen and having an owner that spends is keeping guys.
Keeping your own that you know should be here for a while. You know,
obviously,
the Wheeler thing was very confusing. I do believe if he was owning the team, Cohen, he would have been back. But it was a very, very tricky situation that Brody Van Wagenen did not handle very well.
No, that was just an all-time mismanaged situation from top down by the Mets. And to let him go to the Phillies for that contract, it was just horrible. Obviously, it's worked out terribly for the Mets in that. Wheeler's been one of the 3 best pitchers in baseball since he signed in Philadelphia. But the best part of having an owner that spends is you don't really have to worry about losing those homegrown guys.
Not at all.
And then the Sotos and Lindors are the best add-ons that you could possibly get too.
And you also have a couple of prospects here, Kevin, that I think should be moved. You know, like they have a guy that could play first base in the outfield. They have another guy, Gilbert, he just plays the outfield. You know, you need to like they haven't really traded big prospects besides PCA. You know, let's trade some big prospects here. And if there's a need you really feel like needs to be filled, let's trade some of these guys. And if Clifford's the guy that, you know, should replace Alonso at first base, but he needs to be moved, let's move him.
Yeah. And you know that he's not going to play if you're set on signing Alonso in the offseason. And even if you don't, and you trade Clifford, the Mets should be able to find another first baseman. It shouldn't be a problem.
Naylor.
They shouldn't be worrying about it. Naylor or what's his name? Murakami?
Murakami. No, I want Alonso.
Yeah, it's got to be Pete. All right. I have two quick stats. One, I mean, I don't even know how much I want to talk about it, but the Rockies are pacing to be 37 and 125. That's not even believable.
Yep.
And that would be the worst record ever. Chicago won 41 games last year. They were 41 and 121. I don't even know like what to say about Colorado at this point. But
I thought they were like winning a little bit, but then they stopped.
Well, yeah, when they win a little bit, it's like they won a series.
Yeah.
And everyone's pumped about it.
Yeah.
My other stat of the day is just a mind-boggling stat for me.
Let's hear it.
There's 7 players in Major League Baseball with a 300 or better average. None of them are in the National League.
That's not true. You got clickbaited.
Did I actually?
Yeah. Will Smith's hitting 325.
So how did I
saw that before.
Because then I looked at the thing.
I saw that before.
I thought it was true. I must have just looked right past Will Smith.
I saw it before, and I'm like, isn't Will Smith batting 320? And I looked, and I was
he is,
oh, yeah,
definitely. Because we talked about him last week in the Soto thing, too. I had all of his stats. And isn't Ohtani?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Ohtani's not. Ohtani's not.
No, Ohtani's not.
Ohtani stinks.
Yeah.
Average.
Well,
so there's one player hitting. Yeah, only one guy is hitting in the NL.
One guy.
300. And then Donovan's
it's close.
second, 297. Was Smith like not on the stats or something? What was that?
I think they just took him out. Like he just edited him out. He must have. I was like, they look so believable. I'm like, they look so real.
It did. Look totally real.
Like,
And then it was believable too because I'm thinking about the guys and I'm like, yeah, none of them are hitting. All right, well then my stat is wrong. So good catch by you. And we move on to midseason awards. And then we'll wrap.
Midseason awards.
MVP. I have something to say about the MVP award. You know what I'm going to say. If anybody in their right mind thinks Cal Raleigh should win the American League MVP over Aaron Judge, you have not watched Aaron Judge play baseball this year. And we love Big Dumper on this show. We absolutely do. But Aaron Judge is so clearly the best player in the American League, the most valuable player to his team, the most valuable player in baseball. If you asked any general manager in the league, who would they rather have this year? They're taking Judge. So if I see any more Cal Raleigh is the MVP takes because he's got a few more home runs and one more RBI, I'm going to lose it because it's just clickbait. It's just clickbait. That's all you're doing. Judge is so much better.
Yeah, I really want to say, like, oh, give it the Big Dumper, the catcher, this and that. And I can't. Like, I want to disagree with you. I want to have an argument with you, and I can't. I can't physically do it because it is so far and away Aaron Judge. He's easily been the best player in the league. It's historic what he's doing. It's mind-boggling every time you look at the numbers that he currently has, that it's possible that a human being is doing this. I mean, it's just so incredible. So I can't disagree with you. It has to be Judge. It is Judge, and it will be Judge at the end of the year because these voters aren't that stupid.
Who's an easier MVP right now, Judge or Ohtani?
See, I'm going back and forth, him or PCA. I think Judge is an easier MVP, and I'll give Ohtani the MVP right now. He is pitching again, so I'll say Ohtani right now. But you know, he definitely has slumped here a little bit since he started pitching. Ohtani.
And how about third MVP odds in the NL is Juan Soto, not an All-Star.
Yeah, he's not an all-star. I mean, Juan Soto absolutely deserves consideration. He's one of the best offensive players, not only in the game, but one of the greatest offensive players we've ever seen. So he absolutely deserves to have some recognition there. He's just unbelievable, and everything he does amazes me.
Cy Young Awards, Screwball and Skeens?
I'll go Screwball and Wheeler.
Okay.
And
I picked Wheeler
Crochet's
preseason too, so I want to give him that, but I'm going to give Skeens right now.
Crochet is definitely making a case. It's not going to be a runaway for Screwball there. But it's funny. I picked Wheeler for like 2 or 3 straight years. Before the year started, I picked Wheeler for 2 or 3 straight years. And he doesn't win it. Especially the year he should have won it when Burns won. He should have won that year. He had like 60 more innings than Burns. Whatever. I've been picking him every year since then. And now, finally, this is the first year I actually think Wheeler's got a little traction here. Got something going here. Not only with his play, but people realizing he hasn't had one and he kind of deserves one and should get one. I think he's finally going to get it. And he is pitching, you know, he's unbelievable. He's pitching well enough to certainly be considered for it.
Yeah, I hope he wins. Again, I would get both Cy Youngs, I think. If I did my preseason predictions, I'd get both because I picked Scooble to win Cy Young and MVP, but I'd get both. I think if it tracks like this, I think that Scooble is going to run away with this.
I forgot you had him MVP. I was about to say,
Yeah.
wow, what a nice chalk pick there, Cy Young. But yeah, I'm MVP too. So
Yeah, I had him MVP
I
also.
can't. So I can't even say that because.
But he's not going to win MVP. No pitcher's going to win it in either league. Well, Ohtani, but Rookie of the Year is intriguing to me. In the AL, I don't think the NL is much of a race because they're just going to give Mizorowski if he continues to pitch well. Because Drake Baldwin would be second.
Yeah,
and then
Baldwin's been good though. He's a good player.
Good, definitely a good player. Bright spot in Atlanta. But AL Rookie of the Year. Why is Carlos Narvaez a rookie?
He's a rookie.
Yes.
He's having a good year. He's having a really
so
good year.
Looking through the list of odds, and it's like the headline is Red Sox have 3 Rookie of the Year favorites.
So you're like,
3
who
of
is
the
it?
top 8. I was like, no, it's like Anthony Meyer. And my first thought was, is Rafaela a rookie? And I look and it's Narvaez, 50-1 odds, is right behind Dominguez.
He's got like
also
a 3 WAR. He's got like a 3 WAR. Yeah, Dominguez rookie. Great. Who's the favorite?
It's going to be Jacob Wilson. Jacob Wilson.
Okay, Wilson.
Cam Smith second.
Cam Smith's been great. Wait, Caminaro's a rookie?
No, I said that could narrow. Like that gap between Wilson and Smith could get narrow.
Yeah.
And I could see that changing, but I don't think they're going to.
Because Cam Smith's been great.
Yeah. Finally. Do you have a manager of the year pick? Because I just have one.
I'd probably go Counsell and Hinch.
I definitely would go Hinch, but Pat Murphy, man.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job.
Run it back. Win it again.
He's doing like they're a game back of the Cubbies, man.
They're gonna win the division. They're gonna win the division.
Did I have that? I had that.
You had that.
I had that. I had that.
The Cubs under 87.5 games, and I had the Reds winning the division, which still might happen.
That's awful.
How many games back are they now? 7.5. They could make the run.
I had the Brew Crew. Let's go.
You had the Brew Crew.
About that.
Game back. Same amount of games played.
I always believed.
And this is all right. I'm gonna take the cheese again on Milwaukee. This is the first year since 2019 that I'm actually looking at Milwaukee saying, "Gosh, if they get a third baseman at the deadline, I think that they are a real contender in the NL."
I had like a 2-year stretch where I bet a lot of money on them to win the World Series in like July. And they're bounced in the first round, and I want to just end everything. So I stopped doing that. I stopped believing in them.
I have one more manager hypothetical for you.
Yeah,
if Aaron Boone got fired after the Mets series, say the Mets swept them, who coaches the All-Star game?
Oh, Brad Ausmus.
Would he, or would it just be another American League head coach manager?
Was Brad Ausmus on the World Series team last year? Yeah, right.
Their whole staff from last year is back.
It'd probably have to be him.
That would be crazy. It wouldn't be
Imagine that.
It wouldn't be Inch. They wouldn't just give it to the best record.
No, has that ever happened? That's happened.
I was just going to say that. I think it's probably something that's never happened before.
I feel like that has happened.
The World Series appearing manager was fired within 8 months of the World Series.
I mean, think about it. Like, you lose in this scenario, he loses the World Series. So you lose the World Series, then you're off to a terrible start in the first half, and you get bounced. You get fired. I mean, I feel like that could happen.
It could happen.
Not the winner, not the World Series winner. You're getting more than a half a season to figure things out, but the loser of the World Series, terrible start. I mean, I thought the Yankees could have done it there. They could have.
If they lost that last game, they could have done it. So I was curious who would have coached that game. All right. I think I'm good on all our little mid-season stuff.
You want to go through the bracket quick?
Oh, yes, bracket. Yeah, you take us away. Let me pull it up.
Very intrigued. Let me pull it up. All right, right now you have. Hold on, it's not loading. Right now you have Detroit, Houston as the teams with the buys. The wild card round will be the Yankees, Sox, and then Blue Jays, Mariners. That's 3-6 against the Yankees 4-5. I'll take the Yankees over the Sox. I'll take the Mariners over the Blue Jays. I'll take the Tigers over the Yankees in the DS, and the Astros over the Mariners in the DS. Tigers, Astros rematch of the wild card round last year. I'll take the Tigers again in 7 games getting to the World Series. I'm a believer in the Tigers now.
Mm-hmm.
And should I do NL or no?
You're taking the Mariners over the Blue Jays?
Mariners over the Blue Jays in the wild card round.
What if one of the other 2 teams wins the AL East? Just curious. Would you take the Mariners over the Sox or Yankees?
Well, definitely not over the Yankees, and probably not over the Sox either.
Yeah, okay.
No.
It's interesting that Toronto is in the lead of the division, but I think we both feel the same way that they're the third.
Probably the third team.
Third scariest of the 3 in the playoffs.
I might like the Rays better too.
Yeah, Rays are toast though. Rays are toast.
You want to go AL and then I'll go
Yeah,
AL?
I think I would take Sox over Yankees in this bracket. I don't think I think if as a Yankee fan, the one team I do not want to see in the AL is the Red Sox.
Okay.
I'd take the Sox over the Yankees. I'd take the Tigers over the Sox. I'd probably take Toronto over Seattle. Houston, Detroit. I'd take Houston to get into the World Series. I think the Astros, we still haven't seen them full strength yet, and they will be for the postseason. They will have Alvarez back. They will have Pena back, and their pitching's great. Hunter Brown is awesome. Valdez hasn't even been great this year, and that was your Cy Young pick. And if they could get full strength going, I think they're definitely the best team in the AL. NL, what do you got?
NL, so in this scenario, it has the Brewers and the Mets 4-5.
Yep.
The Phillies currently lead the division by half game, so we'll go by this. I think the Mets win the division, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Mets will beat the Brewers. I think the Phillies will beat the Padres. I will take the Mets this season over the Dodgers in the DS short series. I'll take the Phillies over the Cubs in the DS short series, and then Mets, Phillies, NLCS. This is going to hurt. I'm going to take the Phillies to beat the Mets. The pitching, Wheeler, Sanchez, Suarez, Luzardo, and whatever moves they make at the deadline, I think they're going to be ultra aggressive in the pen. I'll go Tigers, Phillies, World Series.
All right, I would have Mets beat the Brewers, Dodgers beat the Mets on the left side, and then on the right side of this bracket, I would have Padres over Phillies.
Okay.
Padres over Cubs. Padres, Dodgers, NLCS. We got another Dodgers Astros World Series.
There we
go. Dodgers win it again. I know that's chalk. I know it's boring, but
and I'll take the Tigers to win the World Series. The best pitcher in the game. I'm telling you, I wasn't about a month ago. I'm really starting to believe in this Tiger team. I'm starting to see it. They win in unconventional ways. They have some guys with pop. They put the ball in play. I think that's going to play in the postseason. I'd like to see them get a couple more bullpen arms. I'll think the Tigers win the World Series.
There's a lot of, and again, deadline talk later in the week. There's a lot of need for bullpen arms, and there are not a lot of bullpen arms to go around at this deadline. So
some of these teams that are on the fringe, they haven't done it in years, but they have to just sell. Just sell. Yeah, it's a seller's market. You want to get a crap ton for a mid reliever. Let's just sell this year.
Yep, you have to. Because you look at the standings, and the trade deadline's been ruined by the expanded playoffs.
Yep.
You almost have to move the trade deadline back 2 or 3 weeks to get more teams out of the race. But you look at it, I mean, Kansas City, like, they're not going to sell. They're 3 games under 500. Because they're all these teams are looking at it saying, we were in the playoffs last year. Cleveland, same deal. We're only 5 or 6 games out of a wild card spot. We got to try to get into the wild card spot. So the only teams that are left to sell are like the A's, the White Sox, do the Orioles. They probably do a little bit. The Nationals, if they have anything they want to get rid of, Pittsburgh, and Colorado. Because even Cincinnati, I mean, we could sit here and joke about the Cincinnati pick. They're 3 games over 500. You can't sit there 3 games over 500 and say we're getting rid of guys when you don't spend any money to make up for it in the next year or two.
No, you're right. A team like Kansas City, though, should absolutely be selling, and it shouldn't even be a
be.
question if the Orioles are selling or not. They should be.
And then Colorado, Chicago, and the A's, I mean, they don't even have players to sell.
There's nothing we want.
Arizona's going to be the big seller that everyone calls.
Yep. I think they will sell. I think they'll end up selling.
They're going to have to. I think they're definitely going to, because they're looking at it saying, we're not re-signing Suarez, Gallen, or Kelly. Those three guys, I think, are definitely out at the deadline.
Well, I think if you're looking at the biggest shocks of the season, like Atlanta's one of them, the Orioles are one of them. For me, the D-backs are right up there.
Oh, absolutely. I said they were going to be the second best team in the league.
Yeah, I know. It's not good. I
said they were going to be this year's Padres.
That's not good. That's really not a good look right now.
That's bad. That's really bad right now. Thank God I didn't pick them to even be in the championship series. I didn't pick them to win a playoff round. Thank God.
That's awful.
I thought they were going to be so good. And how about Houston sitting here? I know I just kind of said this, but Houston, we're sitting here. They're 56-40. They haven't had Alvarez for the entire season because when he played, he was awful.
Yep.
They now lose Pena. They haven't had a great year from Valdez. And Christian Walker has just been a zero as an ad for them.
And they have the second best record in the league. In the American League. Good for them. They know how to win.
That's crazy. Like, Walker's starting to come up a little bit right now. But he started the year. First 2 months, he was awful. And he was hurt. And he was awful.
Remaining strength of schedule. Red Sox have the hardest remaining strength.
Did you see their schedule right after the All-Star break? That's why I'm not that worried about them for the division this year. Because their schedule, right? I think we could be sitting here 3 weeks from now saying we're going to be sitting. Let me put it this way: we're going to be sitting here on July 31st, or even let's say July 7th, and we're going to know, or August 7th. Excuse me. We're going to know if they are serious about contending or not. Because after the All-Star break, they're at Chicago Cubs for 3. They're at Philadelphia for 3. Home against the Dodgers. At Minnesota. Home against Houston, home against Kansas City. Then you get to August 7th. So you had a home series against Kansas City to end that, and a road series against Minnesota in the middle of that where you can make up some games, and you got to win those series. But then after that, if they're out of it, and they fall 5 or 6 games back, you go at San Diego, at Houston, versus Miami, then 2 against Baltimore, then you're at the Yankees for 4, at the Orioles for 4. That's a brutal next month.
Well, don't tell that to Ken Rosenthal, who thinks that they are World Series team if they make the right moves in a couple weeks.
Yeah, see, I'm not into that this year. And I think Red Sox fans should be nothing but overjoyed about this team. You cannot be any other way.
Well, don't tell them how to act. They'll act accordingly.
That's how you have to act.
They're a really prestige franchise. They've had a lot of success, more than you've had in the last 2 decades.
Just like I have to be grateful, Jeff Passan, that my team goes over 500 every year. I have to be grateful about it. I cannot get upset about the Yankees.
You should be.
How dare I get upset about the Yankees?
You're an ungrateful, spoiled brat is what you are.
Exactly. And I just have to be glad that they do the things they do all the time because they make the playoffs every year. And that's awesome. That's so much fun.
That is awesome.
Every year. It's great.
I wish I had that.
You do. You do now. Welcome.
Not yet.
Welcome. You have it now.
Not yet. Don't tell me how to act.
What do you think out of those brackets? Who out of the teams? Because I wanted to ask when we were just talking about it, but like the Tigers and Astros have the byes. The Blue Jays are a game back of them. Yankees are 3 games back of having a bye. Phillies have don't have a bye. Cubs and Dodgers have a bye. Do you think those bye teams will stay the same? Do you think it'll be the Dodgers, Cubs,
no,
Astros, and Tigers?
It'll be the East. The East will get one of the byes in the National League, and I think it will stay Tigers, Astros in the American League.
Okay, yeah, I think the NL Central. I agree with you because I think the NL Central is going to start beating each other up a little bit in the second half more than the East is going to beat each other up because it's really just the Phillies and Mets right now.
Yeah,
and whenever the Mets go to Atlanta.
Yeah, we know what happens then.
Yeah, let's make sure none of the Mets play this week in Atlanta.
Really hope not.
Nothing. The All-Star game, team all out. And I'm going to be watching 1 inning to make sure Judge doesn't run into the wall.
Okay.
You think Boone punt lineups the All-Star game?
Probably. He'll probably find a way to punt line up that one.
Hey,
I need Volpe in here. I need Volpe.
Do you see that tweet? And it was Anthony Volpe has informed the All-Star committee that he does not want to play in the game this year. And then it's a quote, and it's like, not for me. I'm just looking to get the week off.
That's Soto right there. That's Soto.
So no, Soto wants to be there. He needs that money. All right, wrap it up there. Episode 64. Thanks for watching. We'll be back later in the week with some more specific All-Star, not All-Star, trade deadline stuff, and then really dive into second half outlooks for the Yankees and Mets. A little bit of a day off today from hardcore Yankees and Mets stuff. You catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Make sure to check out Instagram and all the links to all our other shows. No Good Takes, Giuseppe Oliveri, The Playbook with Gabe Zota, Mic'd Up, Bunker, and everything else that we have at BTO Media. Appreciate you sticking with us. We'll see you at the end of the week.